A lot of people think the resurrection is simply about this. The resurrection is simply about making sure that you get into heaven after you die so you can live on the other side of the grave. And I don't want to be heard dissing on heaven. We're going to be there a lot longer than here on this earth. But Jesus died and was raised from the dead, not just so that you could have a life beyond the grave. Jesus was died and raised from the dead so you could have a life before the grave, so you can live when you're alive. And when Jesus came back from the dead, and he came back the way he did, he came back in his same old earth suit. He did. He had the scars on it to prove it. Only it had been clothed in resurrection power, and so it was the same, but it was different. But he came back in his earth suit as the first fruits, as the first deposit of a resurrection that is to come. He came back to testify that God has not given up on this planet and on this world, and that's why one day there's going to be a new heavens and a new earth. You're not going to be just some disembodied spirit floating around in heaven, man. No, you're going to have a body. You're going to feel, you're going to touch, you're going to see, you're going to hear, because all of this is God's too. The resurrection was a rebuke to the Greco-Roman world of that day that said, this world doesn't matter, so you can do whatever you want to with it. You can sleep with temple prostitutes, and this world's just immaterial. It doesn't matter in the least. And Jesus would come back and take that on and go, no, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, and God is interested in redeeming this too. This belongs to God too. And that's why he had so much to say about caring for the poor and working for reconciliation and feeding the hungry and healing the sick, because this world matters too. This is spiritual too, man. What you do with your body is spiritual. Feeding people is spiritual. Helping to reconcile people is spiritual. The material world is spiritual stuff too. When Jesus came back from the dead in that literal physical body, and he's cooking them fish for breakfast in John chapter 21, and he's eating in front of them, and he's spending time with them, living among them in the flesh, it was a way of saying God's not going to give up on this planet, on this life, and he wants to clothe the whole world and this entire realm in resurrection power. This world matters.